I do though. And guys, we are live. Let's see, in. Okay. Welcome to the Modern Sports Show, home of your college athlete, where we are player led and player focused. Tonight we are live streaming the Cleveland Browns versus the Denver Broncos. So, guys, be sure to ask some great questions tonight, and let's get the party started. Let's get the party started. All right, let's get some people in here. Let's start getting some people in here. Y'all know how we do it. When you join the live, just speak. Good evening, Mrs. Mother Modest. Good evening. Let's start getting the people on here. And then we got the mic working, right? Right, Devencia? We got the mic working. Shout out Devencia. Shout out Devencia Rogers, who helped sponsor a great part of this show. We got to get the Caver clan on the chat tonight. Had some great questions for me over Thanksgiving weekend. Great energy tonight. I think we got the mic issues resolved, so we good. Yeah, we good. We good. We ready to rock and roll. Y'all should hear me great. Y'all should hear me great now. We just getting it out. Let's get the news out. Let's get this party rocking rolling. Let's get this party rocking rolling. Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football. What's up? What's up, Princess Bray? Princess Bray in the comments. Get this thing going. Let's get this thing going. Let's go. We sending it around. Sending it around. Got to get everybody in there. Everybody. Got to get everybody in here tonight. I finally got my mic working. Feeling good. Like I said, this is the Modest Sports Show, home of your college athlete, where we are player-led and player-focused. We're going to have a great episode tonight. I'm looking forward to all my wonderful guests who are going to join the show in the comments and really spark this conversation like you always do so well. And then we're going to watch Jabu. Uh-oh, he done already hit a strike to Jerry Jeudy. He's down the sideline. He has the angle. Great way to start the game. Jameis Winston has really revived this Browns offense. They're 3-8. I know he's at least won 2 games for them. Not sure if Deshaun Watson was a starting quarterback for one of those games, but Jameis Winston he's kind of gave this Cleveland Browns organization a spark at this point in the season. Question is, as they roll into the offseason, do they decide to stick with him or, give him what he deserves, or are they going, go in another direction? But guys, definitely come in and gave this organization something to be considerate of. Okay. Coach Ken, okay. Well, tell Coach Ken to join the live just for the viewership, just to get the views up, just have him playing it in the background. But I also need Coach Ken to come with some brilliant questions because Coach Ken is a very cerebral guy. So I would love to hear and discuss some topics that Coach Ken's mind has savvied up for this evening's discussion. I would love to hear that. Guys, say what's up to Snapchat. We're on Snap right now. We're getting ready to get this discussion rolling. All right. Guys on Snapchat, we're streaming the game tonight. Tap in with us on the Modern Sports Show. Y'all see the numbers. Y'all see what we do. Just join the live. Ask Corey anything. And let's get it rocking and rolling. Let's get it rocking and rolling. I'm really excited tonight because I figured out why my mic was doing what it was doing. Probably still need another mic just for the clamp purposes. The clamp on this mic it's a little cheap mic. Got to get something a little bit more official. But I figured out why the audio was not working. And so that more than anything is the most important thing. All right, we still waiting on some people to get in the live. Numbers trying to go up. Still waiting on some people to get in the live. Remember, guys, send this around to 3 people. We always start with 3. Get this to 3 people. Tell them to join the live so y'all can go at it in the comments because I love to be messy in the comments. I love when we disagree in the comments. So y'all join the live. Get on the live. Let's talk. Let's watch football tonight. And yeah. So, one of our first evenings of the question, Ken Henderson, But Braylon Lacey asked one of our first questions of the evening, and she says, "How are you feeling about the new rankings?" So we are still waiting for the college football playoff rankings, which are the most important rankings. We got the AP rankings. I took a look at those today, kind of used it to formulate how I felt about the college football landscape. But I think for the most part, pretty fair, pretty just. So yeah, I feel pretty good with the rankings. All right, Braylon, you just added me on Snap. Can't give out that. Can't get that out. But Ken, though, I saw that, and that's actually funny that you asked me that question. I definitely believe Harsin was trolling with that Lank T-shirt, man, and he did it so low key. He did it with the mug, and obviously you had to see the reflection in the back screen door. I thought that was funny. And I've spoken to a lot of people connected to the plane since he's left, and everybody who is connected to the program at that time, even one Alan Green, who was the athletic director there and actually assisted in bringing Harsin in, all said that it wasn't Harsin. It was not Harsin. And it's actually funny, though, because now that, like, this is just a random thought, but what they said the board was going to have issues with is the exact thing that Harsin had issues with, right? Coming from the Pacific Northwest somewhat. I don't know if we would really consider Idaho that. But, yeah, like he came down south and he really dealt with, a lot of that drawback from this region, so. But, yeah, I think that was a troll job. That was a crazy troll job. So I enjoyed to see it. I thought it was funny when I seen it. Merry Christmas. Let's get some more people on the live. That's a good follow-up. So is it the alumni? They should have never got rid of Cadillac, in my opinion. I do feel like, that's another very good question. I feel like with Cadillac, it had more to do with experience than anything else, and maybe track record and resume. But I think Cadillac kind of sparked it. He gave it a revive. He gave it a revive. It's just like maybe the people in power didn't believe that Cadillac could actually sustain success in the program. I think maybe the powers that be kind of looked at it like this is just like a now thing, a way to go out with a bang. But still, as we look towards the future, we got to bring in somebody who can actually, I guess, go to the heights of some other more prominent programs. And so just to, but I think Cadillac would have been a great addition. The game is losing tradition. I mean, and we know some. That's the nature of the beast, though. Like, and I spoke about this on the last episode. We got more people taken than they are given. And so at the end of the day, if everyone taking something away, what do we have left to actually get? Who's contributing? Who's giving back to that? You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I feel about it. Still trying to get this out, guys, so bear with me. We got to get some more people in here. Still trying to get it out. Friends only. But let's go. I need Coach Trina in here. I need Coach Hanley in here. I need Von Dragus in here. So if my people can make it happen, that'd be great. I'm going to get it to these people as well. Got to get these people in here, man. We got to have a good night tonight. I feel I worked out before we got started streaming. So I feel pretty good. Or Leader Albert says, but coaches from other areas struggle in the conference. Coaches from other areas struggle in the conference. That's what, yeah. I mean, can't necessarily disagree with that, because some coaches have come to the conference, and let's see. I'm sorry, guys. Still trying to get this out, but y'all keep coming with the questions, though. Keep coming with the questions. I love when y'all talk amongst each other as well. Just trying to get this out to a few more people. Just bear with me. Remember, guys, when you get in the live, I need y'all to speak. There we go. Speak. Let's get this rocking and rolling. Mariah Reviews. Hi, how are you doing, Mariah? Ken Henderson says, I think is where I predicted as well. 8-3 is what I expected them to be, and hopefully a spot in the playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are we talking about Alabama or are we talking about Auburn? Yeah, I'm assuming we talking. Okay, Bama. Okay, yeah, Bama. I definitely believe Bama. I mean, so my question is this to you, Ken? Are we taking and truthfully, the head-to-head, I know a lot of people was talking about this today. The head-to-head means more than anything, but it's some caveat with that. So I could take it multiple ways. Are we taking Alabama over can we take South Carolina over Bama to get in the playoffs, being how they finished the season? In that case, Ole Miss and Alabama share the same record. Can we take Ole Miss over Bama since they got that head-to-head, as well as Alabama having South Carolina in that head-to-head? I mean, like, it's a lot of ways this thing can go. So as we get down, or, now that we're at the end of the season, everybody finished 9-3, I believe. How is that supposed to look heading into bowl season? Alabama not making a conference championship game. Obviously, Ole Miss. But, like, what are we thinking about that? Because, I mean, let's go to the Coaches AP poll. Obviously, tomorrow, the college football playoff rankings are going to come out. But how do we feel about, like, what are we thinking as we get closer? Like, next week, these games going to be played, i.e., right? If Texas beats Georgia, That's gonna move Georgia to what 10-3, right? And they lost the head-to-head to Alabama. So should Alabama get in over them? Should Georgia be penalized for playing in a conference championship game that Alabama didn't play in? It's a lot of implications with this new format, and I love it. And I also love the fact that everybody is kind of getting better, which makes me ask the question. We talk about the SEC, right? We talk about SEC not being as good, or excuse me, everyone is like, the SEC is only riding on tradition. I had somebody tell me today via Instagram comment, right, based on the graphic that I made, based on my opinion, that Arizona State, and mind you, Ken, talked about this last week or this past weekend, the weekend before last. Obviously, I felt like Arizona State would be a better program this year. But you mean to tell me Arizona State, Iowa State should go in the playoffs? And just based on the graphic, obviously one of them have to get in. The Big 12 championship is going to get in, right? Whoever wins that championship, they're going to get in. But truthfully, Arizona State, Iowa State deserve to go in above a 9-3 Alabama, above a 9-3 Ole Miss, above I mean, hell, you could even say a 8-4 Texas A&M. So I mean, come on, man. Like this thing get real murky. It get real tricky. Real tricky. Real tricky. Let's keep these numbers going up. If you guys are just now joining, welcome to the Modest Sports Show, home of your college athlete, where we are player-led and player-focused. Tonight, man, we just gonna have a good night in the live. We're going to answer some of these questions, and wherever y'all want to go with the conversation tonight, that's what we'll take it. So I'm with whatever y'all with. I'm with wherever y'all are with. Well, see, Ken, the problem is, right, Ken Henderson says the SEC is the best conference. The season is showing that dog eat dog. See, the problem with that statement, though, is that many tend to believe, and they look at the SEC, well, Vandy beat Alabama. And Florida beat LSU. And I mean, like programs who haven't necessarily been the top of the SEC these past few years, they're going to look at the wins that they have against some premier programs in the conference and use that as a backing or a claim to the point that the SEC isn't as strong as it once was. And to your point, that's quite the contrary. See, the thing people fail to realize is that same Vandy team that got beat up in the SEC, put them in the Big 12 a few years ago, or put them in the ACC a couple years ago. I'm not going to say Vandy just going to go to the conference and dominate, but they won't look like how they looked in the SEC, winning no conference game, going 0-8 in the conference. So, I mean, but outsiders, they don't get it, man. It's football country, and I be trying to tell these people, man. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts down here, man. This is what we do. But you know, shout out to Purdue, though. Shout out to Indiana for the season they having. Shout out to Kansas. Yep, shout out to them. Hold up. Got to get some more people in here, man. I got a couple usuals who ain't in here. Ken coming strong tonight, though. I think I tell you what, and I'm going to start doing this tonight. This is what we're going to start tonight. We're going to have a player of the chat starting tonight. We're going to have at the end of each chat, I'm going to announce the player of the chat based on chat performance. So you coming with them questions, you coming with them points, you coming with the dialogue, you're going to be the player of the night. And if I could, I got to figure out a way, a reward system, like a trophy or something. The winner gets something. I don't know, $5 from me. Yeah, I could do something like that. Winner, player of the chat, get $5 from me. Cash App, you Apple Pay, Zelle. Player of the chat, get $5. And as we grow, who knows? One day it might be 500. Might be 5,000 one day. Let's go though. We got to get some more people on the chat. Gots to get some more people on the chat. Let's get it sent around. Got to get some more people on the chat. Ask the questions, man. Ask away. I'm just sending it out, just getting it around. Just getting it around, just getting it around. Got to get a couple more people in here. How was everyone Thanksgiving though, man? I pray everyone had a great Thanksgiving, spending time with family and loved ones, and had a few days, if not the whole week, time to get off your feet, enjoy time with your family, man. Enjoy time with your family. I know we got a lot of pressure on us every day to get out and make it happen. So I pray that y'all were able to just spend some time with your family, enjoy your family over this weekend. I'm still getting it out. Browns. Just trying to send this around, man. Trying to send this around. If you're new in the chat, if you just joining, like you can see in the comments, say what's up, man, so I can say what's up back. Say what's up so I can say what's up back. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving, like I was saying. I got 9 watching right now. I got 1, 2, 3 people who done spoke, or 4. I got 4 people who done said what's up in the chat. Ken, yeah, that's a great question. He says, where would you put Indiana? That could be the argument as well. Looked well against a bland OSU. Looked well. I don't even know if they – what's good, Sean? Sean TV in the chat. Y'all be sure to go check out his YouTube, South Alabama. Nichols, free safety, whatever you want to let. Very versatile player. Go check out his YouTube. Got some daily day in the life content type deal. Davincia says she's taking player of the chat for sure. So Ken asked, where would I put Indiana? So my thought on it is, no. We gotta take this a step back. I got to take this a step back, right? So Michigan, I got to go back to Michigan. I got to go back to Ohio State from this weekend. I watched the Ohio State and Michigan game. I was very disappointed, extremely disappointed. I was very disappointed in Ohio State. All the weapons to be one of the premier offenses in the nation, right? But a lot of times, and this is very frustrating to me, a lot of times, and that's why I really enjoy watching certain teams play. Dude, open up your offense. Because really when you look at it on either end of the spectrum, right, whether you're a great team who has a lot to lose, whether you are a mediocre team or a poor team who has nothing to lose, bro, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, this is a game that we play to have fun. Open the offense up and throw the ball. Like we watched Ohio State 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 in negative territory, right? In a top all game to Michigan. You should not be in a top all game with Michigan. A 6-5 Michigan program. And you're at home. You mean to tell me you let them come into the shoe where you play and beat you at home? It's stuff like that, man, that I just can't. You can't make it up. Like, you cannot make it up. Like, you can't make that up. Ohio State, and my thing, for me, Ohio State is much like Oregon. or not Oregon, but what am I trying to say? Ohio State is much like Georgia, and what I mean when I say that, but even I mean, in terms of the weapons that Georgia has, I can't even put Georgia on the same level as Ohio State. But this is what I mean. I'm going to draw the parallel. So with Ohio State, they got pieces, but they have a struggling quarterback. Similar to Georgia. When Beck is throwing the ball, when he is, and I've said this multiple times on podcasts, when Georgia is throwing the ball and Beck is on, they are a hard team to stop. Even though we know Dylan Bell and Arian Smith and Dominique Lovett and guys like that, they haven't quite stepped up like we would have hoped for them to this season. They are still, when Beck is on, they are still a pretty decent offense. Ohio State is the same. It's like they struggle when their quarterback struggles. And Will Howard, so I'm going to pose this question to y'all. Was Will Howard the best thing that Ohio State probably could have went out and got in the portal this season? Coming from Kansas State, when we think about the like we say, is levels to it. Do we really believe for Ryan Day and Chip Kelly obviously coming in and kind of making that offense his? Was Will Howard the best quarterback they could have got out the portal for this 2024-2025 football season? That's the question to ask. So reverting back to that question, what Ken said, where would I put Indiana? Indiana, I posted the graphic today, but I had Indiana, I think, in my, let me not lie to you, let me pull it up. I had Indiana in my 9 spot, even ahead of Ohio State. And when I look back in, I said, okay, I'm kind of tripping because Ohio State won the head-to-head. But, I mean, I really don't care, if I'm being quite frank. Like, I really don't care. If Ohio State, who knows if Ohio State had played Indiana at home, who knows what that game could have been. Maybe they win that game. I'm just saying, especially the way Ohio State played Michigan. Maybe they win that game. I don't know. Guys, if you're just now joining the chat, be sure to speak so I can speak back and give you your shout-out, give you your just due for being here with us tonight on the Modest Sports Show. And like I said, be sure to send this around to a couple more people too. Be sure to send this around. Sean TV, what's up? Okay, I said what's up. DaVinci says, I'm taking player of the chat. We gonna see. Bernard Lacey, my dad, Pop, says, what's up, Corey? Lil Richie, what's good, bro? He asked, do you have, he says you have familiarity with Jameis Winston. Tell us about him and his impact. I think Jameis is a very vital asset in the Birmingham tri-state area. Like, he does I think he's provided a lot of hope for the next generation of football players, athletes, just in general. He does some great things with MDF Nation. Shout out Coach O. And tonight we just going to enjoy seeing a Birmingham kid on Monday Night Football. And so I think Jameis Winston is very impactful in Alabama and Birmingham, to be more specific. Sean TV says, let's say you had one more year eligibility. Where are you going and why? That's a great question. If I had one more year eligibility, so I'm gonna keep it honest, right? So I'm more of a finesse-like backer, right? So I'm definitely more of a will in a system who gravitates more to bigger nickels. I think I would fit more in there, right? They say I say I'm 6'3", but you know them walls be lying. So they say, even Bama, when I came on a visit here, they like you 6'1", and then when I was at Kentucky, they like you 6'1". I find it hard to believe. I don't think you could trust them wall measurements. But if we play that 6'1", when I'm not trying, like when they ain't got me on no strict program to be like, you gotta weigh this much. Like the heaviest I got at Kentucky, 235, 240. I think naturally I'm in that 215 to 220 range. So I'm like, I could bracket. I'm not going to at all say I can get in front of Tank Dell and Jerry Jeudy and cover. I could bracket, though. I could trail technique, right? Have somebody with a little bit more range playing over the top. Definitely going to come down and run support off them edges, okay? Needed a little bit more to kind of meet you in the A gap, the B gap, and hold my own. But, like, just a more finesse style backer. You know, more. Could see myself more in a 4-2-5, 3-3-5. So with that being said, I would say who got a finesse type defense? We think. I would say some in the West USC, some in the West Coast system. Uh, uh, certain. I mean, schools in the SEC now have been going to a 3 high safety look. So like Mississippi State, for instance, this past year. So I mean, I don't know. I think the way football is going in general, a lot of defenses have you got to be more finesse. Got to be a little bit lighter in the box with dudes who can hold their ground in the run game, but also kind of give you some space in the pass game. So, yeah, I would say anywhere that has a finesse style defense. Sean TV says that rivalry get different though. Teams play different when they going against their rivals. While that is true, that is very true, Sean. That is very true, and I must agree. Only thing, bro, is like, you at home and you are the number 2 team in the nation. I understand that's your rival, but like, bro, you can't look like that against Michigan, bro. Not this season. Now, seasons of the past, last year, for instance, right? Like, I can understand it. Ohio State messed up by trying to play. They messed up by trying to play Michigan's game, trying to outman them. Like, why? You got all this power. You got all this finesse in the pass game. And you can stretch the field horizontally and then stretch it vertical. Take that approach. That's all I'm saying. Take that approach. Don't, man, I'm not finna out. That's just like if I'm going like in a fight, right? Like if you put Floyd Mayweather in the ring with Mike Tyson, both in their prime, it's probably not going to end as well, right? And styles also make fights, but my point in saying that is, okay, if Mike Tyson hit Pretty Boy Floyd, with a few of them hooks, it's not going to look the same. It's not going to be as pretty as if he was fighting someone in his weight class, because them punches is going to feel different. So I'd say that with Ohio State and Michigan, but let's say we bring Mike Tyson, we strip Mike Tyson weight, and we bring him down to a featherweight or welterweight, whatever Floyd was in his prime. Okay, them punches that Mike Tyson was giving at heavyweight might not have the same effect as they do in featherweight. So, like, don't play. I'm just simply saying, play to your strengths. That's it. Play to your strengths. Sean also asked, what's your view on FSU? They are making some changes, right? Back to contenders next year. Oh, that's going to be hard. That's going to be real hard, because it's like, what are they going to lose? Are they going to lose anything? Are they going to lose anybody? Obviously, we've seen Gus Malzahn is stepping down from UCF to take the OC job at FSU. How is that FSU program going to kind of take to Gus Malzahn? And then, obviously, like, with FSU, it was a flop, right? Like, I don't really know whether it is coaching or if it was players. You know, obviously I think they let their defensive coordinator go. I know one coordinator got fired. But I mean, like, how can you – I just don't know, man. It was everything. Everything dealing with that program. Like, I ain't gonna lie, DJU came in and he didn't give that program what I thought. I thought them picking him up was gonna be very good. Because, and a friend of mine told me he never really believed in DJU. Me, on the other hand, I was looking at it like, I think that's a good port to bring in. They had a decent season last year at Oregon State when he was there, 9-3. I believe he plays very well under center more than his shotgun or pistol. But, you know, I don't know. It was a flop by FSU. So next year, I don't know if they just jump back like that, because there's so many other programs who are making moves. Who I feel like if FSU had a stronger season this year, even if they had gone 8-4, 9-3, I think they could pull out 10 wins or 11 wins or 12 wins in that ACC conference. But being that they kind of fell off and subdued this season, I don't know how well they bounce back. I don't know. I think maybe for them next year, a 7-win, a 6-win season might just be good enough to keep Mike Norvell's job. And then in I think that'd be year 4 or 5 for Norvell. So not next season, but the season after next, then maybe we can start talking 10, 11 wins. You know. But that's a good question, Sean. It says, Sean said, Gus just doesn't give me head coach vibe anymore. I like the title he has on the OC. I can see that also. Now, I got 12 watching. I got 2 carrying. Ken and Sean right now. We gotta come with some comments, bro. We gotta come with some talks. Where's Coach Trina at? Where's Coach Trina? Where Coach Hanley at? Where Von Dragus? Where Von Dragus Hudson at? Where they at? Where they at though? That's who we. Hey man, we gotta get it cracking in here. Got to get it cracking in here, and when you get in the chat, just speak, and we can talk, and y'all ask me whatever you want. It could be about myself, it could be about the game, it could be about college football, it could be about basketball, golf, tennis, whatever you want to talk about, man. We're here to talk about it tonight. What looming thoughts do you have over the weekend while you're watching these games, and what is even going on right now? Like, that's what I want to talk about. All this NIL money and dudes quitting. I think a question for the real football knowers, especially the ones who track the players, who is someone that hit the portal that surprised you? Like, who was someone that hit the portal that you was like, oh man? And he didn't necessarily have to be a big time contributor this season. He could have been, he could have just been someone who was a backup, but like maybe he just got to the school. Who was someone that shocked you? Like, man, that cat hit the portal. I'm curious to know what you think. Curious to know. And it's really crazy because since this past weekend, like today, I'm looking all on my timeline. This person transfer portal. This person transfer portal. This cat transfer portal. And I actually seen I forget that MDF Nation, they shared a reel that I went and looked at prior today before starting the live. It's a gentleman. I cannot think of that podcast. If I could, I would shout him out. But it's two gentlemen. They speak, and one more speaks about his experiences in college athletics. He was at Bama at some position at Bama, and he has a lot of stories. Great storyteller. But he kind of spoke to NIL's disadvantages when it comes to college athletics. And I would say he hit the nail on the head when it comes to integrity, when it comes to dignity, when it comes to working obstacles and challenges, all the intangibles that a person deals with in life. But someone in the comments said something very interesting. I'll see if I can find it, because I was very intrigued with the thought. And it was the way, it like I was saying, it wasn't a new point. It wasn't anything we hadn't heard before. It was just the way that they worded it. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Is this it? And, yeah, there was a few more points that were made, too, that I was kind of like, that makes sense. But I'm going to see. Let me see. Okay, here it is right here. So someone said, as a former college football player, I'm happy to hear it when talking about the things that this particular individual did not like about the NIL and players being soft and players wanting to transfer and stuff like that. He said, as a former college football player, I'm happy to hear it. Instead of programs being able to hold scholarships and playing time over a player's head for their entire college career, they are being forced to motivate, recruit, incentivize, and drive culture to their players differently. A management system predicated on fear will only yield minimal results and doesn't set those kids up for lifelong success. Coaches are being forced to see players as stakeholders and partners to their own career success, and that's how it should have been all along, right? And so for myself, that is something that I was like, I agree with, because for the longest, and I've seen someone else make this point, that players like a Coach Saban or any other Les Miles or Ed Orgeron, whoever you want to throw in the type, just prominent coaches over the SEC's tenure in the 2000s, since we've kind of been dominant as a conference, have used the tactic that we're going to take all these athletes, not necessarily to play them and build our program. And I'm not quite sure how much of a tactic or strategy this was used, but all is fair in love and war. We're going to take all these athletes, not to play them at our school, just so the other school can get them and have an advantage. And so that was something that was interesting to me. I'm curious to know what you all think about it. Ken Henderson said, and Gus making just as much as a head coach. So do we really feel like, and this is just to Sean and Ken, just where y'all going with the conversation, do we really feel like that was a great move for Gus? And if so, why? Was that not a lateral move? You don't think he took a step back, or was it intentional? Was it why was that a more favorable opportunity for Gus? I'm curious to know what y'all think about that. Bray Bray asks, how do you feel about Alabama being 11th in the AP poll? I think they're deserving. I think they're very deserving. The way and they're deserving, and I had someone say this to me today. So the SEC should be prominent based on history. Yeah, what you mean? What you mean? Why wouldn't the SEC be prominent because of history? We're like, what? Yeah, that's what you, with anything in life. If you're paying a person for a job, right? You're only, whether they did work for you prior or whether they did work for someone else, you can only go based on what you've seen they've done, and that's history. Whether they did it for you or someone else, you can. If I'm renegotiating a contract, whoever my agent or the boss, whoever I'm negotiating this contract with, they can only go based on history. So yes, the SEC is going to remain supreme just based on history alone. The gap is so wide, like other conferences got to close the gap. That's the way in the world. That's the truth of the world. So I don't know, but I think Alabama is they're seeded great at 11, and truthfully, I hope they do make the playoffs. For good or bad, I hope Alabama does make the playoffs. Ken Henderson says, yes, let's focus on everything and getting him back to his norm. Reconstructive move. Look at all the rehabilitated coaches now, Sark, Lang, etc. Okay, for sure. That's a great point. I could see that too. I could definitely see that. Where did I'm tripping. Maybe inform me. Where did Lane go after he left Ole Miss? Did he make another stop after he left Alabama? Did he make another stop before going to Ole Miss? Inform me on that. I forget. I believe, and I think Sark, right? Sark, when he left Bama, he went to the NFL, right, to coach with the Falcons, if I'm not mistaken. But guys, for those of you who are just now joining, want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Lift Up the Vulnerable. Great organization. They help disadvantaged youth in Sudan and South Sudan. And we would really love it here on this show if you could head to the links in our bios. They're plastered everywhere on our social media. And they're actually at the beginning of each one of our episodes each week. And we're going to work on getting the ad on this live platform stream. And just go support them. They do some great things in the community. They've helped me as a show, and so yeah, just look and see what they got. They got some great things going on, and be sure to go follow them on social media. Lift Up the Vulnerable. That's every one of their social media handles. Be sure to go follow them. Great people, great organization. Alex Hill is a guy that you can contact. Just head over to the ad on the last 3 or 4 shows, and you'll see the promo, and get with them and help them. They're great people, great organization with a great mission. Great mission. Sean TV says, I wouldn't say great move, but I feel Gus knows he just doesn't have what it takes to keep leading UCF. Oh, look at ESPN Sean TV tonight. Look at him. Okay, Pop said, I think USC. Okay, we talking about Lane Kiffin? Lane went to USC prior to Ole Miss? FAU. You're right. That's where he went, FAU. You are so right. He was down there for a couple seasons. You are so right. Yep. Pop says you're right, Ken. It was FAU. Yep. Can I have a beverage? Can I get one of those, please? Strawberry. Yeah, but so man, what else are y'all seeing in sports in general? Like what other teams are we looking at? What other teams are we seeing? Thank you. What other teams are we seeing that are competing for a spot in the college football playoffs? Like, do we feel like, that's a pick? Oh man, that's a pick. Okay, the Browns, they stepping up. They playing ball tonight. My question to you all is this. What other teams are we seeing that might make a late arrival in the college football playoff talks? Should a 12-team playoff consist of a certain amount of teams from each conference to ensure equity? Or would that only do what happened last season and catalyze, I guess, the opposite in it being unfair? Like, for instance, should the SEC only get 3 teams and the ACC only 3 teams, Big 10 only 3 teams, Big 12 only 3 teams? That's 12 teams. Or I don't know, Big 12 2 teams and a group of 5 school. If Boise State loses their conference championship this weekend to UNLV, does Boise State deserve to get in the playoffs? And because if they don't, and Army beats Tulane in their championship this week, does Army deserve to get in at one loss? Being that one loss came to a Power 4 conference school in Notre Dame. Like, what's y'all thoughts on that? How did this? Like I said, this thing get real tricky. Real murky. Where we at? For those of you who haven't, if you're in the chat, just speak so I can speak back, so I can acknowledge you. Because you are a beautiful person. I want to acknowledge beautiful people. Ken says that's the thing. Notre Dame needs to be in a conference. That is real. Because that's real. And so, yeah. The people and the powers that be might just go to Notre Dame and be like, hey, man, if we finna be doing it like this, y'all need to join something. You've been skating by these past couple years. That ain't going to keep cutting it. You can't play like, if anything, Notre Dame, if they don't, it's like, bro, okay, the highest we going to give y'all is 12 seed. If y'all not going to join the conference, that's the highest we going to give y'all is a 12 seed. So, that's how I feel about that. They shouldn't be ranked. Yeah, I feel it. Sean TV says they absolutely do if we still have Alabama in the playoffs. For sure. Yeah, for sure. I can agree with that. I can agree. I can agree. There's a couple more of my usuals. I would love to get in here. I don't know what we got to do. I would love to get him in here. I'm referring to Boise State. They absolutely do. We still have. Oh, Boise State. Oh, okay. I get what you mean. So we believe if Boise State loses in their conference championship to UNLV, Alabama should. Boise. No. I mixed that up. Boise State should still get in the playoffs if they lose their conference championship. If Alabama does. I don't know if I agree with you on that one, man. I don't know if I agree. Just because, again, when we look at who you losing to, that's gonna make all the difference. That's gonna make all the difference. Excuse me. Devencia Rogers, my babe, says at this point, do you think Bama will skate into the playoffs? It Man, and that is actually a great question because that makes me think, right? Texas sitting at one loss, okay? What happens if Georgia beats Texas again? Man, that's going to shake everything up. Because if Georgia beats Texas again, how can you leave Alabama and Ole Miss out? Two teams, the only two losses that Georgia has. How can you leave them out? And I'm also tired of this narrative, too, when they're using this as a selling point. When because Texas is going to the SEC championship in their first year in the SEC, they're trying to use that to discredit the SEC because it's their first year. Like a Big 12 school just came to the SEC and they're going to the conference championship in their first year. Come on, man. Like Sark has already said this. He built the program from the time that they said that they were coming into the SEC. He went ahead and started building the program to get it ready. You have a leader who already was a coach in the SEC. That's a clear advantage. Like, that's a clear advantage. So don't use that. No, I just hate to see people Twitter talking points run with that. Like, you got a head coach who was already in the SEC. How does that not bleed through the program and prepare it to be able to make this type of run? And on top of that, you look at the pieces you acquired. One of your leading receivers comes from an Alabama school. Like, what are we saying? Quinn Ewers, he was a product of Ohio State. Like, come on, bro. I get passionate about it because I get tired of seeing some of this stuff day in, day out from people who be trying to discredit, what we do. And Devencia Rogers also says, what are your overall thoughts on Kalen DeBoer and his fight this season? I think DeBoer has shown tremendous ability to coach in the SEC. I know at times it's looked rough. I definitely think he came in and had to I think as quiet as kept. Even this season, throughout the course of the season, he's probably had to modify his approach to coaching. But I still believe he can do it at a high level, and I think just give him time. You just give him time and continue the people that are in positions to support him, continue to support him. I believe it's going to be no time before he's able to restore Alabama to the ranks that Nick Saban had it in its prime. I think DeBoer is that good of a coach. It's just like, can he continue to build the pieces? And to be honest, if I'm being very honest, I feel like this season was more of a defensive focal point for them. You look at the young guys they brought in and played on defense this year. I think them building their defense was a little bit more of a focal point this season. Stop me if I'm wrong. Stop me if I'm wrong. Alex Hill, or he's labeled as Michael Hill in the comments, guys. This is a beautiful person. He is the CAO at Lift Up the Vulnerable, and so asking great questions again tonight on the live. Great human being. Who do you think will win the Heisman? Do you think Boise State going into the playoffs will help Ashton Genty's case for the Heisman or not? I definitely believe it will. And I spoke about this, a couple weeks ago, a week ago or so? Yes, I 100% agree. But let me reverse it. I kind of labeled it like this. I said Ashton Genty, just what he's done in general is going to help. Thank you, love. What Ashton Genty has done in itself is going to actually help elevate Boise State to the likes of being able to get into the playoffs because it's a storyline. So it's like, okay, Ashton Genty, he's done X, Y, and Z this season. He's looked sensational against, like all season. He surpassed 2,000 yards in 11 games and so forth and so on. The committee and the people that be are going to look at that and be like, hey, man, let's just say if we do add this Boise State program to what am I trying to say? We add this Boise State program to the college football playoff, and they come in because obviously they're going to have to play someone in the first round. They come in round one, and they knock off Ohio State. Or it's possible the way Ohio State looked against Michigan this weekend. Very possible. But let's say, they knock off that, they would play the 5 seed or Notre Dame or whoever's sitting in that 5 spot. So it's not I think the two go hand in hand. Boise State making the playoffs is going to help Ashton Genty win the Heisman, and Ashton Genty winning the Heisman is with where he is in the Heisman race is going to help the Boise State football program as a whole slip into the playoffs. So that's a great question. That's a great question. Great question. I'm gonna eat, guys, while we talk, just because gotta stay on schedule. I'm bulking right now. I'm just playing. I'm just kidding. But like I said, we at home. We just facilitating conversation, enjoying each other's company tonight. So I hope y'all are eating too while y'all ask me some great questions. Tell you the truth, this is the first real meal I done had today. We had tonight on the menu in my household, we had chicken and shrimp Alfredo. That's another good question, Alex. I seen Christian go down last night when I was watching the game last night. And, yeah, it does. It does. I think, and that's crazy that you asked that. But Alex says, so what's your thoughts on Christian McCaffrey's latest injury? Do you think this will be his last season? There does come a point in a football player's career where he's like, man, you just get tired of dealing with injuries, certain injuries, the ones that take 9 and 10 months to recover from. You get tired of dealing with that kind of stuff, and it's just like, and Christian McCaffrey, he's a workhorse. So, even the way he kind of went down last night, when I seen it, I was like, that's not good. And someone else said, they were like, they said, what sense does it make to allow your running back to play in the snow on a partial Achilles tendon? Like what sense does that make? So I kind of looked at it the same way. Like it's gonna be kind of tough, and I kind of seen where they tried to. They said it was the tackle before he actually went down. Um, they said it was the tackle before. It was kind of like that run he almost broke. He got shoestring, knee kind of slammed into the ground, and so they're saying it could be like PCL or something like that, but it didn't look good. It did not look good. For those of you who just joined, I'm eating shrimp and chicken Alfredo right now. Very good. Very good. The Browns been looking real good these past couple of weeks. Got to give it to them. Now JC Caver wants to join. Took her an hour. Took her an hour. Last question, Alex Hill says. With all the amazing things Deion Sanders is doing at Colorado, do you think he will stay or go to the NFL? To be honest, I think he was sincere, like in his statement that he wanted to stay. I think Deion is gonna stay at Colorado. Now I think his next challenge is gonna be obviously having to replace Travis and Shador. I think that's his next big challenge, like to find guys who can play to that level, because those are elite college football players. I got to give it to him. And so, yeah, I think he's gonna stay at Colorado. I think he's gonna be there for some time, kind of try to build his legacy there. And I think it's possible. Like, I mean, at the rate that it's looking, like guys want to go and play for that. Now the issue comes in, and this is at every school. The issue is, do guys want to stay and compete when they actually get there? So, thank you for joining, JC Caver. You asked me a great question the other day. I really forgot, but it was a very good question. All 7 of you who are here right now, I really appreciate that. Let's get it to a couple more people. Let's get it to a couple more people. That's what the question was. Okay. JC Caver says, so after this long weekend of fights, both NFL and college, do you think college players should be fined for fights and things that are against the rules? Yes. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea, especially, like I said, for the ones who are on scholarship. And for the ones who are on scholarship and have the means, and that's kind of like pocket watching. But at the same time, it does have to be some type of penalty to how you act. And if you maturize the sport, then that's not like a bad, that wouldn't be a bad strategy to get guys to behave properly, right? You hit them in their pockets. And so, again, like you mentioned, that is what the NFL does. And so, do you think it should be something else like suspension? And guys, yeah, depending on severity, yeah, dudes, they do get suspended. They'll suspend guys for certain hits and things like that, and it's up to I believe it's the player association who kind of governs that, and they have certain policies in place, and so as it pertains to college though, yeah, them jokers should get fined, and they had learn, or maybe since the NIL is kind of like they have collectives through the school, a team or organization knows how much a player is getting, so like the school gets fined, and it's up to the school if they want to pay the fine or say, hey, nah, man, you need to pay this fine. You got to pay this fine or you can't play this week or 2 weeks or whatever the case might be. So I think it's something that's a strategy that they should put in place, and I think it would help alleviate certain things that we see in college football for sure. But at the same time, it make it kind of hard because like it's only a couple dudes. I know it's kind of like it look like everybody getting it, but it's only really a couple dudes in college football who touching that kind of paper. Like we see the Quinn Ewers and Shador Sanders, and everybody not getting that. This Alfredo is very good, guy. Very good. Very good. Very good. This is the first meal we having on the Modern Sports Show. How do you feel about the Texans versus Jaguars situation? Yeah, stuff like that. Everybody want to run to the defense of the defenseless quarterback. My thoughts on the situation is you can't like I be thinking people be wanting dudes like defenders to be superhumans. I can't stop. I can't like be running full speed and not necessarily say stop on a dime, but completely freeze my body from hitting a dude. I can't do that. Like no one can do that. That's impossible. And people want to say athletes should be able to make split decision seconds. Boom, boom. Like, bro, it don't work like that. Now, looking at it, I do think maybe he kind of put a little extra onto his head when he dove into him. Like, put a little bit extra into actually, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but I mean, for the most part, it's football, man, and part of that stuff come with it. And so if you got a human being running at you full speed, when the object of the game is to not allow them to get a yard or to give any ground, stuff like that is gonna happen. Like I don't think he intentionally tried to hurt him. I think he just was sending a message. That's what you do over the course of the game. Like, oh, okay, you gonna run? All right, well, cool. We gonna get at you. That's just how it works. That's what football is predicated on. That's what football is. But that's a great question, though. Devancia Rogers asked, "Are there any other rules/regulations that you would put in place if you could, or maybe some that you would take away? Are we talking about at the NFL level? Are we saying at the college level? Okay. Okay. So I would say I would change in the NFL, or actually both in college and the NFL. Roughing the passer, man. Come on, man. Get rid of that penalty. I hate nothing more to see a third and forever situation be turned into a fourth down because of roughing the passer. Like a third down is a blitzing down. We coming. We coming to get you. So I'm not just gonna like. There's nothing you can do, bro. Like you gonna have to stand here and take this hit. That's just how it works. And so I would get rid of roughing the passer. Uh oh yeah, touchdown. Oh dang. Um, what else? What's some rules that kind of irk me? Uh, what's some rules that I don't like? Certain pass interference calls. I mean, I can say situations that kind of get on my nerves. Uh, oh man, you could have had that. But certain situations that kind of get on my nerves is like pass interferences, right? So like, for instance, when DBs are in trail technique, the ball is through a mile in the sky, and receivers have to slow down. A receiver has to slow down to make a play on the ball, and the DB charges into the receiver, and they get the PI call. My thoughts on that is, like, bro, turn around and look for the ball. And I know Louis Riddick said something a couple weeks ago, like, you try to run full speed, stop on the downturn. It's like, bro, this is what you're trained to do. I understand that. No one's saying the average human being can do that. This is what you're trained to do. Read the receiver's eyes. You see his eyes looking up, bro. Turn around and try to track the ball. Try to find it. Just at least try to find it. And that would prevent the PI call majority of the time. Especially when you see the person that you're defending has stopped. They have completely stopped. So try to find a way to win. You know what I mean? Like find a way to find the ball. Lil Richie, he says, I like when people get their helmet knocked off. I feel that. I feel that. He's hardcore. Bob Sanders. What else we got? Ed Reed. Like that kind of football. Ryan, I can't think of my bro name. Ryan, dang, what's bro name? With the Steelers, whatever. I can't think of his name right now, but I feel you though. I feel you. Aside from that, who y'all got? Who you think the best team in the NFL is right now? Best team in the NFL right now. Like who is the best team to y'all? Who y'all like? You join the chat, guys. Be sure to speak in the chat. Let us know who here, who not, who what we doing. Ask me anything. Ask Corey anything while we stream the Broncos versus the Browns tonight. While we stream the Broncos versus the Bills. While you here, make it a more enjoyable experience. I will say these NFL games be flying by. NFL games be so quick. Phoenix City, Alabama. Y'all jumping around tonight, huh? I'm getting the chat. It's going up, going down, going up, going down. For those of you who are just joining, we're just watching the chat tonight. We're watching the stream. Broncos versus the Browns tonight on ESPN. Monday Night Football. Just enjoying some good football tonight. While you're here, ask me whatever you like so we can talk about it. Keep it real, keep it modest on the Modest Sports Show. I know this is gonna sound crazy, CC, but this weekend I didn't watch the Ravens game, or yesterday it is. Didn't watch it. Didn't get a chance to watch it. I was out and about, so I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to go check the highlights. Had to go check the highlights. That was a dot, Jameis. Check out CC, NFL CC. She says, just know they lost. I have hope in Lamar, but he's hot and cold to me. I agree. I be having my times where I don't think Lamar is the dude. I don't think he gonna be able to get it done, man. For real. As great of a player he is, and as great of an athlete he is, and all that, I don't know if he the dude to kind of get us a Super Bowl. And so, I'm like you. I got hope in him, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. If y'all could just identify yourself. I want to know what 7 people I got in here tonight. At least at this point in the chat, who all in here? Roll Tide. You roll Tide 1 minute and go Vols the next. She don't know what she want to be. We were trending up about 30 minutes, 45 minutes ago, man. We was trending up. We had about 15 people in here. We got to get them back. Got to get them back as we wind down the first half of this Monday night football game. My son's friends are all over. He's on 3. Okay. All I see is transfer portal. We got to move here. Says Oklahoma has hired Washington State OC Ben Arbuckle as its next offensive coordinator. These new schedules, the new college football playoff schedule puts a lot of pressure on these programs to make things happen now. Because like I was just saying this or thinking about this yesterday, the college football championship is January the 20th. Every school, oh, dang, boy. Dang. That's a pick. Dang. Costly turnover. Dang. But hey, that's funny. But I was saying, the college football championship is January the 20th. Every school except for the 2 teams who are going to be playing on that night, January the 20th, are already going to be done started they winter, spring program, weight training program, like getting back to building the foundation for what the season is going to be. Or just prepping for next year. And the two teams who are actually playing in the championship game still gonna be focused on. I mean, not to say that obviously they're not gonna be recruiting and talking to recruits and things like that, because this day and age, like, they're gonna be dudes who transfer in, that practice with the team and all that good stuff. But they are the focal point is still gonna be to win the championship for that season. So while they have, all this, that was great odds. But while they still working on this season to accomplish their goal for this season, other teams is going to be looking at next year. And so you create this perpetual cycle of just always the next thing, always the next thing, always the next thing. So it's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. But no, listen, I'm here, but just listening because they got me working hard tonight. All good. That's all we need is an ear. JC Caver says, what do you think of Gus resigning from FSU? I believe, to go be the offensive coordinator at Florida. Don't quote me on the schools. Yeah, so he went. So he resigned from he's in Florida. He resigned from University of Central Florida, UCF, to go be the OC at Florida State. So like we had some folks talking in here about it earlier. You know what I mean? Like that was a good move. That was a good move, or at least they agreed it was. I don't think it was a bad move. I mean, he goes from being a head coach in the Big 12 to being a coordinator in the ACC. So I mean, I guess it's however you look at it. I think it was a decent move. I don't think it was like this. It's gonna be this great career booster. You know, I don't know. Maybe he might be able to get something out of it, but we'll see. We'll see how that works. I hope it works in his favor. Hope it works in his favor. Yeah. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Dang. You said he tore his hamstring. Troy Aikman said he tore his hamstring. That's hilarious. At Barry's boot camp. That's funny. JC Caver says, yeah. JC Caver says, so this brings me to my next question. What do you think our needs what do you think our needs to change up for them to be back in good standings with the SEC, meaning they sucked the past few years, so what should they do? Um, I'm assuming you're talking about Florida State, but if that's the case, I Auburn. Okay, excuse me, Auburn. So this brand, what do you think Auburn need? Okay, I got you. What do you think Auburn needs to change for them to be back in good standings with the SEC? Meaning they sucked the past few years. So what should they do? They sucked. Well, yeah. So I would say Auburn. I mean, I think Auburn. Truthfully, Auburn has some great ball players. I think it's the infrastructure around them. Are the coaches putting them in positions to be successful? And do they know their personnel? I think that's the biggest thing. And right here, so like, just pause on that thought. We got ACC football. That's Clemson versus SMU. SEC Georgia versus Texas. Big 12 Iowa State versus Arizona State. And AAC Tulane versus Army. So yeah, gonna be a very very. Oh man, Jameis is making some throws tonight, man. Jameis is making some throws tonight. But yeah, I think Auburn just has to like just bear down, like with his coaching and with everything. Because like I said, they got ball players, man. Like I thought this season actually was gonna be that kind of step in the right direction for them. 8-4, 7-5 ish, you know. Because they had the pieces, but I think the coaches didn't do a great job at putting them in situations to be successful. So like, I mean, it is always hard for me to talk directly about players, but it's no secret. I think Auburn really needed a quarterback this year. Like more than anything, they needed a quarterback, and so by not going out and getting the quarterback, kind of hurt their receiving core and what they could do. So I mean, that's just one of those things, Truthfully, JC asked again. She said, "So who do we have for Friday's game, Boise or UNLV?" I would say, truthfully, I can't even tell you. Like I ain't watched enough of either team. I'm hoping it's a good game. I don't really remember how that was when they played each other in the regular season. But if I'm UNLV, I'm trying to knock Boise State off because who knows? I don't know. Who knows? I don't think the committee would look at UNLV as a serious opponent. But I mean, if you win games, then people don't have a choice but to take you serious. So beat Boise State, you might just see what can happen. Just focus on beating Boise State. But me personally, I ain't gonna say I got Boise State or UNLV. I just don't know enough about either one of those teams. I guess the popular belief would be that Boise State is gonna win, being that they got Ashton Genty. But we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. Just have to wait and see. For those of you who are just now joining, because the numbers are going up, would love for you to get active in the chat just so I can see who's here. Appreciate you for liking it, sending all the hearts. Whoever that is, they liking it up. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate that, JC. JC Caver. All the support. Oh, wait. Hold up. Let me get right. Mondragus, what's good, man? What's good? We had Ken in here earlier. Ken, he was lighting the chat up. I was like, man, where Mondragus at? He was lighting the chat up. I was like, oh man, I was trying to get you in here. I was trying to get you and Coach Trainer in here. Ken was carrying. I was like, yeah, they getting active. Mondragus, what we think about what's the college football playoff reveal gonna look like tomorrow? Like, what you expecting to see? What don't you hope to see? Oh, and by the way, guys, this is sparkling water. Very good, very good. I almost remind you of a soda, but it's not a soda. I'm not gonna tell you who it is, but yeah, sparkling water is my drink of choice these days. They need to give me the sponsorship, and then I'll let you know who it is, what the product is. That's what you don't want to see, right? That Crimson team in the playoff. They gonna get in, man. They gonna get in. Watch what I say. They gonna get in, and when they do, they gonna run the table when they get in. I know that's gonna make sense. I'm really just trolling. But if Alabama do get in and run, if they do get in and run the table, hey man, legendary. It can't be no more Alabama Roll Tide slander. I agree with you, man. Saban, I'm telling you, man. Hey, maybe the real moves. Maybe the real move to help Bama as a team was Saban retiring, because now you can't. Now he don't abide by no rules or policies. He ain't got nobody regulating him. He can do what he want. So maybe he retired to really help him. Who knows? Who knows? Excuse me. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Alabama get in at that 12 spot. I would not be surprised. Oh, touchdown. Is Texas really as advertised? We finna find out this weekend. We finna find out this weekend. That's why I can't wait. If Georgia be now that I ain't gonna lie, that'd be crazy to me. Like you got two losses on the season to the same team, that'd be insane. Like that'd be crazy to me. Uh, I think a better question is if Texas loses to Georgia, right? I think obviously they'll still get in the playoffs, but like where do you rank them in the playoffs? Like, and that's where this thing get tricky because it's like if certain teams make it, or it's just like if certain scenarios like that happen, where do you put Indiana? Where do you put Ohio State? Where do you like? Can you really put them teams? Can you still put those teams above Texas when Ohio State two losses are to one Oregon and then the second horrific to Michigan, and then what another loss or Indiana their losses to that Ohio State team who lost to Michigan, but then Indiana go to Michigan and beat Michigan. It's like, man, I don't know, bro. I don't know. If I say the committee got a tough job, they got a very tough job. If I say the committee got a tough job, they got a very tough job. I just had to hear myself make sure the audio was cool, but we good. But yeah, guys, I don't know. As this thing gets down to the wire, I guess we shall see. We shall see. But I'll say tonight, guys, quick episode. I appreciate all of you who stuck around tonight. Gotta get you guys in here a little bit earlier to start the chat. We're not gonna stream the whole game tonight. We're just gonna go for a half. Got to tend to some other business. That's just part of doing this. Gotta keep this thing fresh and running strong. So I appreciate y'all for joining and watching this live tonight, sticking around. We back next Monday. Who knows? I might even stream another day this week. It's up to y'all. We'll find out. Appreciate y'all. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Be on the lookout for more stuff, more content. And just like that, guys, we are out of here. Y'all have a great night and a great week. And remember, stay modest.